we're going to talk about canceling a payment. So a payment has gone through, it is already been sent to the payment processor, so it can no longer be deleted, and the tenant comes through and says, I want to cancel my payment, I don't want it to go through, and you've already executed it. So obviously at that point you can't delete it because it's been executed twice out of web activity and then out of EFT not sent. And once you execute it out of that EFT not sent and it is approved, at that point it is now being sent to the payment processor and there's no stopping it. So there's a couple ways to cancel / reverse that payment, and timing is very important on this, and kind of how you handle that is depends on when you sent the payment through and how long ago that payment was sent through. So we'll start with the most straightforward, the easiest, if you catch it the soonest. Okay, so we're on a register and a payment's been sent through and is approved, and they want to cancel it. They don't want that payment to go through any longer. So if you open up the payment from the register, it'll say approved instead of not sent, because you've already sent it through to the payment processor. And this is where timing becomes important. If it's the same day and it's prior to 5 o'clock Eastern, so everything server related with the payment processor is based on the Eastern time zone. So if it's prior to 5 o'clock Eastern, and I usually tell people to be safe, I would treat it more like a 4:45 Eastern just to give it a little bit of window. But if it's early enough in the day and you've executed that payment and you realize it's a mistake, or they call in and say, we don't want that payment to go through, then at that point, it already says approved here. You can come down and click on Actions, Reverse Electronic Transaction. And this one does not show the option to credit the account since it's not an actual payment that's been approved. But when a payment has been approved, this second option will be able to be selected. And you'll want to come down and click on that second option to credit the account. Now, this confuses a lot of people in that they technically the money hasn't come out yet, but to cancel out a payment so that it never comes out, if you get them on the same deposit, same day, crediting the account is basically going to send a message to the payment processor that we want to send this amount back, and this will hit on the same day that you've told them they want to send this payment through. So those two transactions will cancel each other out, and that payment will never leave their account, and they'll be good to go. It cancels it out, credits them the same amount that they submitted, and there's no issue there. That will clear it out, and the funds will never leave their bank account. Now, if you choose this first option, does not credit the resident's account, all that's doing is reversing the transaction on the register, saying you never got the funds, but it there's no communication there between the payment processor and yourself. So the payment processor is still going to run that payment. It's still going to get withdrawn from their account. And now you're in a situation where the payment was actually sent through, and on your register it says it is not sent through. And if you happen to do that by mistake, there's really no way for you to fix that on your end. You'll have to call us, put in a help desk ticket, when you'll have to connect with someone from client care to come in and actually fix that, set it back to approved, because that's what actually happened. It did get approved. Now, if it's gone through, it's approved, and it's not the same day, and you want to send a refund, you can't really cancel the payment at that point. The only true time you can truly cancel a payment that's already been sent through is if it's reversed, issued a credit on the same day that you executed that payment. If it's the next day or even later that night after 5 o'clock Eastern, then it's too late to cancel the payment. That payment's going to go through regardless of what happens. And at this point, now the timeline jumps out pretty significantly. So I tell people 5 business days now, because what happens is the payment processor is going to give you the funds the next day as part of your deposits, because they're assuming that that's going to be a valid payment. So you're going to see those funds hit your account with the following closeout deposit, and they're going to show up in your account. And you may think that, oh, I've got these funds to return if I need to. But in the likelihood, especially if they want to cancel, that there's insufficient funds or there was a problem with that payment and it's going to bounce, or it's going to be returned from their bank, the tenant's account that paid the bank, then what's going to happen is the bank is going to come back 2 or 3 days, and that's why we say 5 business days. It can be up to 5 business days that their bank could respond and say, there's not enough funds in this account, or we're returning this payment, this is not a valid payment. And if that happens, the funds get sent back to their client automatically. So if you have reversed this and sent them a credit, and then it bounces, they're going to get credited the funds twice. So you want to wait 5 business days. After 5 business days, you know you have that money. There's no way their bank can then reverse the transaction. It's yours at that point. And then you're able to come in, open up this actions and then credit the account and click OK. And then that will send them a refund, process that same day. So if you do it before 5 o'clock, it'll close out that night with deposits, and they should see that those funds hit their bank account the following business day. So key thing to keep in mind there is just that 5 business day rule. If you've missed it the first day, and just let the client understand that, if it's going to bounce on its own, it'll be returned sooner most likely. But if the funds are in there and it's going to stay as a valid payment and they don't stop the payment, then you'll be able to issue them a credit and a refund on that time after the 5th business day.